This is MG, and welcome to the Reimagine You Lab podcast. Now, you know that this is a Friday, so that means that we've got somebody amazing in the lab today. And listen, I can't even wait to get into the conversation. It's going to be that good. But before we dive in, y'all know I always ask, if you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button. Please share comments. Let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and all that good stuff. And don't forget to hit the bell so that every Friday when a new episode drops, you're going to be the one to get it. So with that, I'm going to stop with all the housekeeping. Y'all know I say this stuff every week. Y'all already know. And I want to thank our sponsors. And I also want to thank our amazing subscribers that done got us over the 13K. Like, you guys across all the channels now. I think we're at almost 100,000 people across all of our channels. So that's all y'all. That's all y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. All right, let's jump into this combo today. Y'all, I've got the amazing, the one and only, the girl from around the world. Listen, Angie Anderson, that Angie girl is in the lab today, y'all. Hey, Angie, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going good, girl. Thank you so much for making time and being available to come and join us today. I'm glad to have you in the lab. How things going?
Look, life is good. I can't really complain at all. And I firstly want to always say thank you for you. You have been a guiding light. We talk, we laugh, and I just really appreciate you for being who you are and bringing me out here to talk and just have a conversation. So kudos to you, girl.
Well, Angie, you know what? I forgot to tell you one thing. When you come into the lab, I always do this thing, and I'm going to be in trouble. Somebody's going to say, Michelle, you didn't even go beyond the bio. So there's a thing that I call beyond the bio.
Okay.
And what I'm supposed to do when I introduce you is say, Angie, this is on you. Tell them who you are, where you at, what you do, and how you do it. Okay. So now I got to step back and say, let's go beyond the bio. Angie, boom, I'm throwing it over to you, girl.
Okay. So here we go. Everybody, Angie Anderson, thank you for having me. I am a 20-year Army veteran. Shout out to all the veterans in the room, in the world. The Army has been changing and guiding light for me throughout my career. Last July of 2025, I retired from the Army after 20 years of service. Originally born and raised in the Bronx, New York. Every time I step out my house, I meet another New Yorker. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be some New Yorkers on here. So shout out to the New Yorkers in the Bronx. I currently live in Tampa, Florida now. And as far as what I do, I'm a tech girl at heart. So with Amada Consulting Group, I take the time to help business owners and folks that need systems, automation, websites, anything that's going to help your business continue to grow, to scale, to start, to just gain that momentum. I want to be the one to help you with that in the technical side of the house. So you don't need to be tech savvy to do it all. That's why you have someone like me to help you get through those processes.
Yay. Listen, y'all. So I gotta help them make the connection, Angie. Angie and I first met at the AI Innovision Summit down in, where was we? In Atlanta. We was in Atlanta. And we both trying to get our AI grind on, right? Like we learning what's to do, how to do it, what we can make work, in the businesses and stuff that we have. And we ended up sitting next to each other at a table for the brunch. I think it was the brunch.
Yes, it was.
And then she said, and so we guys got to talking, and we talked about where we was from. Tampa? Oh, you in Tampa too? No. I was like, wait a minute. I done came all the way to Atlanta to meet that Angie girl who's right here. And we said we was going to connect and hook up.
We did. And we did.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So I will tell you guys, you can meet people. You can learn from others, whether online, at other places. Don't be afraid. Like, talk to people. Just kind of be yourself. and be willing and open. And I'm telling you, people come into your life in ways that you wouldn't expect and be great neighbors.
I
Great neighbors.
wholeheartedly agree. You never know if that one person is going to change the trajectory of your business and your life. So never meet a stranger.
Never meet a stranger. That is so true. Well, Angie, so everybody knows that on this podcast, we're always talking about change and what that has done, in the life of a person, in the life of a person's business, just how has change changed you. So let's start there. I know you've been on a journey. You were telling us that you have, you retired from the military. Talk to us a little bit about where the change and reactions changed and got you doing something different.
All right, so I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it back to my youth a few years ago. But if you would have asked me 20 years ago, are you going to be in the military? I would have said absolutely not. The WNBA was just kicking off. I thought I had hoop dreams and just wanted to be a basketball player. 100%. I went to Temple University. Don Staley was the head coach, and I just knew that basketball was going to be my dream. Yes, until I got there and didn't make the basketball team at all. So I ended up playing like intramural sports, but I also got introduced to ROTC. And so that first change was the change that kind of changed the direction I was going, because I thought I had the hoop dreams. I was crushed a little bit that it didn't go that way, but I also had an option. So, when God closes one door, he opens up two or three more. And that was an alternative door for me. So fast forward, the Army gave me a scholarship, sent me out to active duty right out of college. And 20 years over that time, I served my nation from up and down the East Coast, overseas, 2 deployments, and then I retired. So my whole adult life, I will say I have never got a job, ever. Like I've never raised my hand, submitted an interview, a resume, or anything. I went straight from college to the Army. And then transitioning from the Army was, quite frankly, just frightening. 100% scary, because I didn't know how to be in the civilian world. I had never had a job, had never done any of those things. So that change in itself, working with civilians, transitioning to civilian life over the last year and a half, has been like the biggest transition of my entire life. Not just in business, my personal life, my family life, entirely. So for me, that was a changing point where I could decide now who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do in the world, and how I wanted the next chapter of my life to go. And so I took that opportunity. I knew it was going to be a bad employee coming out of the military because I don't like to be told what to do. I was an officer, so I did most of the telling of what to do. So business ownership and entrepreneurship was like kind of right up my alley because I could do my own thing, but also if I want to affect change, you got to be in the right positions to do that. And so starting my own business was just a natural flow for me. So that's kind of where I landed here. I didn't know what to do with myself in entrepreneurship at all, so I just started doing a whole lot of things. And then some of those things stuck. And that's how I met Michelle. And that's how my business started to grow. And here we are. I'm on a podcast. If you'd asked me this a year ago, I would have never thought that either. So wholeheartedly agree with Michelle with change. Change is going to come. If you don't embrace it or adapt, you're going to struggle.
Absolutely. You know what? I think change is the biggest thing. I've heard people say the one thing that is constant is change. Anything can happen. And you know what? I'm so thank you for sharing. I did the Army Reserve, so wasn't duty.
That's right, girl.
But listen, 6 years in, it's that time on point. Yeah. Like I just, what? I will tell people that was the best shape I was ever in my life. Was it? It was the best shape. So Angie, when you think about and retiring, hey, I didn't have a job, I didn't have to interview for anything, but I grew, I got trained, I learned so many things, and you started leading people, and so leading people and building a business.
Yep.
Leading folks to building a business. Have there been any parallels or things that you would say, you know what, this talk, learning this here and getting this and understanding this has helped me over here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I look at the civilian side of the house, most people know how to do a job. And then they kind of graduate into leadership, into management, into taking care of people. So they not say start at a disadvantage from someone like me, but they have to grow into a leader. And leaders, to be clear, are grown. They don't just magically, come out. Some people have talent and that's great, but leaders are grown. You have to learn how to follow before you can lead.
Right.
And so the leadership skills and everything I learned from the military, when I tell you, like, some of the challenges that I see my peers in the business world, other business owners going through, where they just don't know how to handle people, they don't know how to manage teams. Like, I don't have those same problems. I come from a background with leadership and systems, so that automatically helps my business elevate and elevate fast. So now, within the last 2 or 3 months, I've started to bring on team members to my business because now we're growing. And so being able to instruct, lead, train, manage and manage expectations, and while still being the boss and growing your business, I won't say it's easy, but it is less challenging. I frankly have more trouble learning business than I do actually learning how to take care of people. I know how to do that, so I take care of people and they'll take care of me. So I think those set of skills that you will get from the military will carry you through life entirely, no matter what it is that you do.
Yeah, you know what? If anybody that I have ever met that spent any time in the military, especially those who have gone on and retired, you mentioned being on a couple of different deployments. So that means, hey, now we're not only are we somewhere else, but we in a totally different environment. Sometimes
Cultures.
Multiple languages. You know what I'm saying? Where you really do have to have be able to have those skills of relationships and dealing and not only managing people, but just getting to know people and talking to people, making friends, and all of those aspects. When you think about, because I want to get into your business deeds too, because, listen, I want y'all to know that Angie girl, for real, like, she is a systems architect. Like, she knows how to make the business. We're gonna tell y'all about a business in a box type of a tool and system. And Angie knows that thing inside out, up and down, around the corner, around the bend, over the mountain and through the woods. I'm telling you, she's training people, she's training others on it. So everything that she is doing, then she takes it and then she pushes it out to the people, so people have the resources and stuff that they need. Angie, when I know sometimes as we move ourselves over into this convo about business, when people hear the word systems, immediately people get overwhelmed, right?
100%. They get terrified, like, oh no.
They do. No. But systems are really designed to help. So how do you define systems in a way that feels practical and approachable for people? Because I think that's important.
Okay. So I think about when you feel comfortable, when you feel safe, when you know what's happening, what's the next step, what you should be doing. And when you know those things, there's a certain level of comfort that you have. So when you have a routine, say you wake up in the morning, you exercise, you take care of the kids, you get them out to school, then you start your day. All of those things are normal, are routine, are consistent, and they happen. And you don't get flustered because you already know what to expect. So with systems, that's all systems really is a consistent habit that you do over and over and over. So sometimes you don't even have to think about it. You get up, you might pray, you might work out. You don't think about those things because they are a habit. And when your system is in place, you don't have to think about them because it's already happening and it's consistent. So when I try to look at systems for people, I always the superpower that I really have is being able to translate systems into normal things for people. So I try to make it in layman's terms and simple, because it does sound like a lot. It does sound overwhelming when you think, oh, I'm going to power this system up for you and your business is going to do all these things. It's going to have all these things. Like, you can get overwhelmed very quickly. But if I tell you, hey, listen, when you meet somebody, your system is automatically going to help you communicate and not, stress you out when it comes time to reach out to them. Like, that's a different feel and a different messaging, and that's all a system is, but having systems will save you time, will save you stress, and it will keep you on track. So you can now be working on your business, not in your business. The lack of systems is chaos. I promise you. And some people say they operate in chaos very well. And I'm like,
but you shouldn't have to. And I don't care who you are, you cannot scale in chaos.
Facts. 100%
you can't scale in chaos. You can keep on doing it the hard and the long way if you want to, but there's a better way. There was a pastor that we love, that was like our pastor's pastor years ago, and he would always say, in everything there's always a more excellent way.
That's right. More gooder. We go more gooder this thing.
Yeah. So Angie, what would you say is like when I think about it, like what would you say is the biggest misconception people have about systems and operations? Because there are those folks that are going to say, oh, girl, I operate in chaos better than I do when things are straight, but what would you say is a misconception that people think that just is not true about systems?
I think most people think systems have to be complicated, because when they're just too simple to believe, they can't be true. But literally, the systems that are the simplest, they don't break down and they execute every single time with ease. So the more moving parts, the more sexy, the more fancy you get with your system to do all of these special things, the more chances they got to break. Right. What I mean? But when it's very simple, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 1 = 3, it's smoother. And it doesn't break down, so I think that's the biggest misconception. Like, it has to have all the bells and whistles, and really it doesn't. It just needs to be simple, and it needs to work and solve the problem that you needed to do. That's it.
No, I love that. I love very practical things, right? Like, that's a big thing for me. Now I'm gonna say this, and you may agree. There's a cost to not having systems. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a cost. You gonna pay for it on one end or another. Let's talk about what are some signs that people that someone has outgrown their current way of working. Like, this ain't working for you no more. This is not serving you well. What are some ways that I can tell? Michelle, the way you working isn't no good.
I think when you absolutely wake up and you're like, oh my God, I have to do this thing, I think you've outgrown that section already. You know what I mean? So like, if you wake up and say, oh my God, I got to post on social media, right? I got to post on, Instagram and Facebook, whatever it is. And you hate that task in your life, you've outgrown that process already. You need to have a system that takes that off your plate. So maybe on Sunday, you have a system where you automatically schedule your social media for the week. So that way, when you wake up, you're not like, oh my God, I have to post this thing. You know what I mean? So if you go, oh my God, to anything, you've probably outgrown that process. That's why it's an oh my God feeling, you know?
Yeah. So true. So true.
Yeah.
Y'all, listen, I think about, I remember hearing, and you've probably heard this a time or two as well, where people say, hey, I'm working in my business, I'm not working on my business, right? Yeah. Let's help some people identify, and we can take this in tandem. Let's help people identify when the business is running them instead of them running their business. Like, you just gave a good example of, hey, if you wake up and you feel like I have to do this and I don't really want to, that's a sign that you need a system for it. Yep. I would think that if you are, doing a project, instead of, doing those revenue generating activities that keep the business flowing, um, I think that's when like, hey, the business is running you and you're not running the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything you'd add or share or
Working in your business, on your business. So look at it from two simple standpoints, I will always say, right?
okay.
And it's because I do a lot of networking, that networking is like about 90% of how I get my business. I go out, I talk to people, right? So I go out and I talk to people all day, every day. I love talking to people, but I hate the follow-up because it doesn't matter if you talk to people. It's not how it matters. It matters. I'm not saying you need to talk to people, but you also need to go to the next step and you need to follow up with those people. So I always make the joke, like if I put you on my cell phone, you're going in there to die 100%, because my cell phone doesn't have automation. It doesn't have follow up. If you're relying on me at my level 42 years, I'm going to forget. Like, you're going in there to die. You know what I mean? But I have a CRM, and that CRM, if I take a picture with my phone, which I can remember to do when I get a card, it can automatically sync to my CRM. And then the automation can say, hey, Michelle, it was great meeting you. I would love to learn more about your business. Can we schedule some time to connect? Here's my calendar link. Let's see what we can do. And all I had to do was take the picture. You know what I mean? So like, it could be that simple where it's in the follow-up. Calendar invites. Hey, Michelle, are you available on Monday? No, I think I'm available on Tuesday. Well, Tuesday not gonna work for me. What about Thursday? Well, I think we could do Thursday. Well, if I just sent you my calendar link, you could just go ahead and book what's available on my calendar, and vice versa. That way we don't have to go back and forth. You know what I mean? That way I don't have to waste time working in the business trying to schedule and find out and what Google's going to do and all the things, but I can schedule that and just move forward. And then it auto populates on my calendar and I know I got a thing with Michelle. So it's those little simple things that I think stop us or keep us working in the business, because we're not putting a system in place that alleviates that for us.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. You know what? Because I was going to ask you, what system should every business have, every service-based business should have in place? Like, you just gave them two right there. Like, what?
Absolutely.
Have a calendar link so that people can book with you and you ain't going back and forth, but also have a way of being able to take a snapshot of that business card and it automatically populate. She said, as a matter of fact, Angie, that's something I need to do. I don't have it.
I got you, girl.
I love that. Absolutely.
So I think the number one thing the two things that people need to have, if a CRM, like if you don't know what a CRM is, customer relationship management, it is how you track your prospective clients, individuals you connect with, prospects, all of the things. If you don't have a way to house them, you're going to struggle. If you, like most people have an Excel spreadsheet, and that's better than nothing. You know what I mean? But you really need just a system to be able to manage your clients. Okay, so whatever that is, my preferred system that I use is Go High Level, but there are 1,000 CRMs out there. You can use Monday, HubSpot, Salesforce. Like, it could be any CRM out there, but as long as you have one, you know what I mean? You need to have a CRM if you want to be a legitimate business and scale. And then a calendar, for the love of the baby Jesus. Get yourself a calendar. I love my day planner, people, and I love them dearly. But here's the thing. You can put it on a digital calendar and print it out and put it in your day planner every week. But get a digital calendar, y'all. The baby Jesus will thank you. You will thank him when you get yourselves a digital calendar, because nothing says unprofessional like, not having a calendar. Not making it on time, not remembering to follow up. Like, nothing says unprofessional. And if you want people to take you seriously, then you need to take your time management seriously.
Yeah, and your business seriously because people are looking at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, you know what? So you talked about go high level as the system you use, and I tell people all the time, like that's what I use too.
Mm-hmm.
And go high level, you guys. I look at it, and like Angie said, there are multiple that are out there. But if you are a go high level user or you haven't gotten a CRM as of yet, Angie's got a whole school community because it's going to take a little bit of time to learn it all, right? But you can have your business in a box, which includes your website, your calendar, your social media is in there, your email marketing is a part of it. You can even have AI agents if you need agents, to answer calls for you. Maybe you're a plumber or a roofer or a painter, whatever your business is, a dentist, a doctor, what have you, and you're not answering the phone all night, but people probably had challenges overnight. You can have an agent answering those calls for you.
Yep.
Listen, Angie's got an amazing school community. Angie, I want to talk about that a little bit. Do you mind? Can you tell them a little bit about what goes on in that System Starter Lab?
Okay, so the name of the school community is the System Starter Lab. And so I will tell you, before I started that community, I always got thousands and thousands of questions about Go High Level. How do I do this? How do I turn on this? My phone is not working? This is not working. I need to create a website. And I was giving out, free, and advice because I legitimately want to see people win. When you win, that's my happy button on the inside because it's enough bread out here for everybody, but also like collaboration is always going to be better than competition. So I created the Starter Lab because for beginners, it's so hard to just find someone to help you start. When you have to start trying to get that momentum is hard, and Go High Level can be challenging and overwhelming because it is so robust, but there are certain things that if you start from the foundation and you have somebody to help you walk through it, it can, alleviate some of that stress. And so that's how the System Starter Lab was born. I take anybody who has Go High Level, thinking about getting Go High Level, and I bring them into a community where it's a safe space for you to ask the crazy question, the dumb question, the I don't know question, and say, hey, Angie, I really need help. Can you walk me through how this works? Because I need help. And that's what I like to do in my community. I have a bunch of resources in there, videos and stuff like that to help you walk yourself through. But we go live every week because I believe in this. I believe having that person to talk to and answer your specific question when you just can't figure it out from the video, you should have somebody in a community to reach out to. So that's what it was born. We range from beginner to intermediate to wherever I am. When I learn something new in there, like Michelle said earlier, I go and share that thing and make sure my community knows what's new out there, the use cases that they can grow their business, help their clients, because we always need to be continuing to grow. And so as you grow, you learn more and I share more.
Yeah. You guys, listen. When I think about, because when you're in the community, you get the notifications, right? So the dates that, each week there's something going on. And if you can't make it on the date that something's going on, Angie's got the information that's in there, the community that's in there. Listen, there's no better way to learn something than to learn it with others. Like there's just no better way. And there's always some type of questions or info that somebody else is asking about that you hadn't thought of yet, but somebody else asked it. And because they asked it, now you got the answer too. Listen, it is a thing. So first of all, I want to make sure that you guys, Angie's info is in the chat. That Angie girl on all the socials, you can find her there. And then go to her YouTube page. It's That Angie Girl TV, just like it sounds. That Angie Girl TV on YouTube. Check her out. You get to see what she's like. Check out her vibe. So you can see she is down to earth, super intelligent. Like you're not running systems if you're not super intelligent. Okay. Well, maybe there's some McFly type folks in there that can, but I couldn't.
Geniuses.
Yeah, but there's so much out there for you to learn. Join the community. Join the community. Get yourself to work. Ask some questions. Learn so that you can grow. That's what we're always trying to do. The Reimagine You Lab is, hey, let's reimagine you on the other side and you in your $1,000,000 business.
Absolutely.
And you're not running your $1,000,000 business in chaos, I promise you. You got systems and you got your operations buttoned up. You in good shape.
Absolutely.
Angie, when I think about, often you, and I think you said this, I always think about, capacity is built, being able to do things, capacity in your business, capacity even in a person moving from, their employee role into a leadership role, right? Or starting businesses. What would you say? How do systems help leaders increase their capacity without simply just working more hours?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I get into that, I think you said one real good point, and I don't want to forget it. You talked about learning in a community. I will tell you that is the single thing that helps me learn new things better, faster. Having a community. I don't do anything new without a community. You know what I mean? Even if it's just getting with other people who know more than I do, because I want to be where they are. So you got to surround yourselves with the people that you want to be like, so you can get to that level. Okay. So super great point. So thank you for that. And then you said, how do you grow your capacity? I think
without working a whole lot more hours, because a lot of times people think if I work more, I'm leading more, and that's not necessarily true.
Yeah. And I think people are guilty about not working more. So when they work less hours, they feel something is wrong. They're like, this can't be true. Like, I can't work less and make more money. But actually, yes, you can if you have systems. So when you put a system in place, how I see it as, if I don't have to follow up with that person, then I don't have to think about that task. Now I can focus that energy on something else. It could be my family. It could be my self-care. Whatever it's going to be, it's not in the business, now, because I have a system that's consistent, that does the thing. So saving yourself time on, redundant tasks, consistent tasks that need to happen, you actually get your time back. Okay. So when you get your time back, now you can think about ways that you can do those things. Sometimes it is binge watching Netflix. I ain't even gonna lie. I watch a series and I'm like, hey, I don't have to do this now. I'm gonna watch some TV, and sometimes it's that. Other times it is, okay, what's my 3 to 5 look like? Where do I see myself in the next year? Where do I want to grow my business? And now I can focus on activities that's going to get me to that goal in a year, 3 years, 5 years, because I don't have to worry about those tasks because they're already taken care of. So I will say that's how I build capacity. I also think training people, you cannot be afraid to delegate tasks. Let me tell you something. You are not going to grow alone. You're only one person. You have to delegate tasks. And are they going to do it like you? No. 100% they're not going to do it like you because they're not you. But is good enough good enough?
Yeah.
And sometimes good enough is good enough. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be done so you can move on to the next thing. So when you delegate, it takes some trust. It takes some, all of the training. It's going to take some time from you to, set expectations. But when you do that, and now you're growing that person and they're taking that task, you now gain more time. You now are able to take yourself a step back and see the entire picture. So I think, systems is going to save you time, but then delegation, 100% delegation. And you got to be afraid to, don't be afraid to pass the baton to somebody else.
Yeah. No, I love that. You have dropped some gems for us.
Look,
listen, I swear
I done stumbled down some flights of stairs and I'm trying to save y'all. Okay.
Listen, she's saving your chips. She's giving you the sliding board so you ain't got to fall down the steps, y'all.
Facts, the sliding board.
Listen, you guys, the time always seems to get away. And Angie, before I let you out of here, I want you to tell me what would be the top 3 pieces of advice that you would give to change makers? Because somebody's making a decision to change how they operate, change from using systems, from not using systems. So some change is going to occur. What would be your top 3 pieces of advice for those who are ready to make change?
Top 3. And this is in no particular order, but fail forward and fail forward fast. That's number 1. So when you do progress over perfection, you get more reps in. You get more reps in, you get better. You get more comfortable, you get more confident. You grow, So if you wait until it's perfect, you're only going to do that 1 rep and it's not going to work out. But if I fail and fail and fail and fail and fail, eventually I'm going to be like, okay, I'm getting better. So fail forward and do it fast. The faster you can fail and go into the next thing, the faster you're going to grow. 2, self-care. When you start feeling burnout, when you start feeling like you're not spending enough time with your family, your kids, look, I put date night on the calendar. I put self-care on the calendar because I know I can work myself into that chaos because I want to make sure I'm getting it done. But if I don't take care of myself, don't take care of my health, what is this all for? So self-care is super important. So you don't burn out because you're gonna grow in this thing. And then the last thing I will say, and I'm not a real religious person. I'm learning to be more spiritual. So if you believe whatever you believe, your deity, put your faith in that thing. Trust God that God has the plan for you. You just need to stumble upon it. And you'll feel it when it's right. You'll feel when, man, this direction feels good for me, and this is where my door is, where God has led me to be. So don't be afraid to lean into that, and lean into your faith, lean into your spirituality, because it matters that you feel good about the thing you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. No, I love that. Feel forward. Fast.
Fast. Fast.
Yes, like real quick. Real quick. We want to get that in. We want to make sure that self-care. We talked about massages before we got on this call tonight. That's a real thing. I'm getting that in over the weekend. Right. And then just like you said, your faith. Everybody knows, for me, it's straight up, I got to put my faith in action. If I have faith in it, if God has given it to me, I am going to take it. I'm going to run with it, and I'm not gonna have fear around that. If He gave it to me, I'm going to go forward on it. So that I know works. It worked. Everything you said, Angie. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all go and check Angie out, that Angie Girl TV on YouTube, and that Angie Girl on all of the socials. I want you guys to check her out. All her info is in the description, so you ain't even got to look nowhere. Boom, it's right there. We got her, okay? And I want you guys to go find her. And for those of you who are building businesses, definitely tap into thinking about, consider go high level. If you don't have anything in place right now, you just got a website, and that's it. You need more than a front door. You need more than a front door. You need a whole system to run and operate your entire business out of. Yeah. So she can show you how to do it, and you can learn within her community. So you guys go and check her out. Angie, thanks again for jumping in to the lab with us. I love you, appreciate you, think that you are high value, girl.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you to the moon, girl. And we're gonna talk. We down the block. So I really appreciate you having me. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. All right, y'all. If you got anything out of this episode, share with a friend, a neighbor, a colleague, a cousin. It don't matter. Share it with somebody. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And until next Friday, because every Friday there's somebody new in the lab dropping gems, sharing info, and helping you change. All right, y'all. Thank you. And I will see you the next time. Mwah!
Bye.